I wanted to spend some time with some old friends, and the universe decided to get another Georgian married. In my last video, I spoke about how the last reunion wasn't as satisfying for me because I didn't get enough time with the Georgians. I wished I could spend more time with them. And the universe must have heard my plea because another Georgian decided to get married, which meant another reunion. So, this is my gentle reminder that you should be careful what you wish for because the universe will deliver. This time, Gowtham was getting married. The wedding was in Tirupur, and I could have actually driven all the way to Tirupur by myself. The distance between Tirupur and Mysore is almost equivalent, or maybe even shorter than the distance from Mysore to Coimbatore. But the plan was that we would meet in Coimbatore, we would have a lunch together, and then we would all drive down to Tirupur. So I decided to drive by myself. Since I was the only one heading from Mysore, I drove all the way by myself to Coimbatore. Now, I will just say that the views were insane. That's the only thing I have to say about that drive. I also took the journey really slowly. I stopped in a lot of places, especially the two temples like Nanjundeshwara in Nanjangud, as well as the Sri Bannari Amman Koil down south, just after you exit the Ghats, Dimbam Ghats. I sat there, meditated, I did a whole shebang. It was amazing. A few hours later, I was in Coimbatore. We finished our lunch and we took off again to Tirupur. I will admit that the reunion this time was very mellow compared to the one that we had in Chennai. Maybe it was the number of Georgians. We were a much smaller crowd than Chennai. And the other thing might have been the fact that the Muhurtam was at like 9:45 the next day, and we couldn't afford to pull the shenanigans that we did for Rubens' wedding. We definitely made it in time this time. I will just say that. Having a chill get together was really peaceful. It's good to go out and crazy like once in a while, but having a nice relaxed session is also a good way to go. I mean, we are almost approaching 30, right? And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. After the wedding, we ended up catching up with a few old friends. Bear in mind that these parents of our friends have seen us grow up like almost since we were like 9-10 years old into the fine young adults that we are now. And the interesting part was that I realized that some of my friends have kids now. And that really hit me hard, man. To be fair, in my memory, it almost seems like it was yesterday that we were all running down to Palada to get parotas and eat them illegally, and now some of our classmates have kids. It's surreal how fast time flies. Oh yeah, before I forget, like, a huge shout out to Gautam and his family for hosting us. It was amazing. Thank you so much, and a very happy married life to you, man. The other shout out that I'm gonna have to give is to Mr. Aditya Velaswamy. I'm still getting used to your name, but dude, like, thank you for showing up. You had Kumbhabhishekam the very next day, but you just ended up there. You showed up despite the fact that you had exams and everything else. Hats off, man. Thanks for making it. It meant a lot. It made us feel really cool and special. Now that our responsibilities were done, we were heading to Coimbatore for the next part of the trip, which is essentially just chilling with the boys. The wedding got over on the 26th, and I decided to spend the entire time. I was going to leave back to Mysore on Saturday or Sunday. Niketan extended everybody's trip. And he graciously also hosted us all the way till Saturday then. Shout out to you as well, man. Thanks a ton. Now, the second part was actually us going to meet Niketan. Dr. Sri Niketan wasn't able to make it to the wedding because of responsibilities. Now, to be fair, he is running an entire hospital by himself, and the lives of all those patients definitely did take precedence. So, it's okay. He did graciously clear his entire calendar while we were in Coimbatore to spend time with us, and that's what we're getting to. We first went and visited Nikki's new project, and obviously the Georgians had to do some exploring. If you put a Georgian in a jungle, he's gonna explore, man. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's what we did. After that, we went to Vicky's plant, and now I forgot to mention that half the time most of the boys were working. While the rest of us were chilling, these boys were in the car attending Zoom calls and meetings online. And I'm really appreciative of the fact that they were there. Even though they couldn't spend all the time, they still made an effort. Though it was a lot more difficult to be with us, they were there, and for that I'm truly eternally grateful. Of course, at the same time, we had the married boys who understandably disappeared as soon as their responsibilities called. Again, like, I may joke about it, but I understand that people have responsibilities and you still made the time to come and catch up with us. That day was just a visit to Nikki's new project, which took a lot of time because it was really out there, and then driving back to Vicky's plant. And after that, we all ended up catching up for dinner, and it was back to Nikki's place where we just spent a lot of time catching up. Because despite the fact that all of these guys were sort of in the same area, life had caught up with all of them and they hadn't really gotten together. And this was an excuse, which was really nice. I also had this beautiful heart-to-heart with a friend about love, both lost and found. And this particular bit is really special to me because this was also the time that I was kind of catching the feels for someone who will remain unnamed. She's going to become a very strong muse, I think, for the rest of my life, probably. Those were the stages when I realized that, things were happening. A lot of the guys left after that particular day. They went to get work done, and this actually ended up with our next phase of the trip, which was heading to Isha Foundation. Now, I just want to flex for a bit here. On the way from Mysore to Coimbatore, I coincidentally ended up meeting Sadhguru on the way there. He actually zipped past me on the bike. I was doing like 100 or 110 in my car, and our man just like zooms past. I looked at it, I was like, hey, that bike seems oddly familiar. And sure enough, I saw the entire cavalcade parked up ahead, and immediately took the chance to stop by, ask for an autograph and take his blessings. I did not, unfortunately, take a pic or a video, and I don't really have that, but I do have an autographed copy of a book, which is really cool. So yeah, getting back to Isha, man, I think I will leave it to Nikki to explain what was happening.
Namaskaram. So we're going to Isha now.
Yes.
Which is in the foothills of Velingiri Mountains, and it's like 1 hour from the city. It's a beautiful drive. I think we've got to focus there.
I've used the word amazing vibes a lot before. I've spoken about Hyderabad the same way. I've spoken about a lot of places in the same way. But and it might kind of sound cliche to say this, but Isha was amazing. The vibes were brilliant. Do I just mean? You're not allowed to take cameras or electronics beyond a certain point, and which makes sense because this entire thing is supposed to be a sort of a spiritual place. There are 2 temples that we did visit, the Linga Bhairavi as well as Dhyana Linga. I had an amazing time there. I spent a lot of time just in contemplation. I did a lot of pranayama every single chance I got. I did a lot of dhyanam. It was beautiful, and I will say this, Sadhguru, you've built an amazing place. I love the energy there. I'm definitely coming back. As you can see, I haven't received my snake ring. I'm coming back to get it, ideally from you. I do want to say thank you for the experience. It was mind-altering. I'm definitely coming back. After another night at Nikki's, the trip was winding to a close. Benji needed to get back. He had spent too much time away and he wanted a night, at least a day, to recharge before he started work, and I had to leave the next day as well. So that's when most of us went our separate ways. We did have one dinner together before all of that happened, but Nikki wasn't there to join us for that. I was also supposed to meet another old friend, but due to time constraints, I wasn't able to meet you. Baba, I will see you soon. Coimbatore is just like 4 to 5 hours away. Coimbatore is just like 4 to 5 hours away. Like I said, I already like the vibes there. I think the place is beautiful. I'm going to be coming there a lot more often, so we'll definitely catch up. Oh yeah, before I forget, a huge thank you to both Nikki and Danish for hosting us the entire time that we were there. You took a lot of time out from your responsibilities just to spend it with us, and that made us feel super freaking special, man. Thank you. Also, to the rest of the Georgians, I know I don't say this a lot, but I really enjoy your company. I'm not the best at keeping in touch because I like being by myself, but I'm incredibly grateful that you guys are part of my life. I'm incredibly grateful that we got to spend all of this time together. And again, I'm being greedy here, but I want to spend more time, right? There's just something magnetic about the Georgian gathering, about the Georgian presence. It's almost like no time has passed since we left school. Just time starts flowing again when we're together. So that's about it for the video, man. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Okay.